Just taking a look at the last couple of games, I'm sure you did a lot of film work.
Mhm.
What did you see that you liked, and what did you see that you need to work on?
I think Stanford game, you saw us, we changed ends of the floor really fast. We were just able to get easy baskets off our defense, but it was how fast we moved the ball, how fast we pushed the ball, how fast Corn and Keon were. In the Cal game, we fouled. I think they had 5 and 1s where we fouled the 3-point shooters. We didn't execute the game at the end well in terms of finishing with a better spread. There was some defensive lapses in overtime where we let them go all the way. So we need to work on certain situational stuff. But for the most part, a couple of our traps were bad, like we didn't rotate the way that we need to. But we found ways to win, so the resiliency was really there. I think they're in good spirits. They're looking forward to this road trip. But those are things that we need to clean up.
Just how much can a team take away from losing a game, winning a game like that? What kind of lessons can they really take from that?
I think a lot. The best time to coach is after a win, right? You can have harder conversations. Really, this is where we got to get better. I mean, we always do a little bit of a review and just really try to clean up those things, part of our process as we move forward defensively. Some of the young guys make some mistakes, but they also do so much good, and so you just clean those up a little bit, lessen those mistakes. Some of our turnovers in that game were self-inflicted. That's where we were a lot better in the Stanford game than Cal.
Corn, freshman of the week. We'll talk a little bit about
Yeah, he earned it. He played outstanding, made big shots defensively. He was a menace. Has to get his assist-to-turnover ratio up, but for the most part, made some big plays for us on both ends of the court, and so very well deserved.
With Corn and Keon in the backcourt, are there situations where Corn may be better, Keon may be better, or playing together may be better? Are there certain situations for matchups like that?
They have an incredible chemistry. I don't know if you feel it or see it. We see it. They're at each other's hip, and they feed off of each other. They share it. They push it. They have a lot of fun. They bring a lot of energy. I think for the most part, sometimes Keon Minifield, he's such an incredible scorer that he tries to pass, and I think pass too much, like in a way, like shoot it, you're open, you can score. And then sometimes it's like Corrin, set it up more, where he's, so it's vice versa. But that's part of the teaching process. Defensively a little bit, they get lost, but that's normal for freshmen. They compete. They've got great instincts, but now we got to get a little bit more discipline in that. And with that combination, and that's through repetition, that's through game situation, and then watching film and practice, they're just going to keep getting better and better.
How was Noah day after playing big minutes?
The kid's a warrior. A lot of ice, a lot of treatment, a lot of rest. But he's tough. We needed his toughness in that game for sure, and he brought it.
Just one more, Noah. How hard is it to keep him on the bench?
You know what? The thing that makes this team really exciting is, Noah played 5 minutes the day before, and other games P.J. Fuller's been, somebody stepping up. But it's hard to keep Noah, on the bench when his toughness is there and he's rebounding and, offensively, he's got that old school game where he gets in the paint and uses his size so well, knowing how to get fouled. He got back to that up and under and pump faking in there, which was really, it's hard. He's hard to guard, especially when he gets in the paint.
Hey, with Corn and his three-point shot, is that developing? Because it really showed up in that last game.
He's percentage-wise, he's our best shooting percentage, over 40 from 3. He's got a good field goal percentage. He just needs to clean up on his assist turnover. But in terms of open shooting, he's got the mind of a shooter, right? I was a shooter in theory. They would look at my form and say, oh my God, as mechanics, if I missed 2 shots, I was trying to find other ways to impact the game because my confidence, wavered a little bit. And with him, his confidence never wavers. And not just willing to take a shot, willing to take a big shot.
But, in like high school, he didn't really have like that,
Yeah.
that Cole Bajema, sort of
Yeah.
reputation as a shooter. But
I think,
just what this offense.
I think in college, he's such a good penetrator that they might sit there and say, we're going to go under screens. And so he's actually making the right decision based on how they're defending him. And he has a great base on his shot. He's got good mechanics. He's been working at it. And most importantly, he has the mind. I coached a kid named Jerry McNamara at Syracuse. Jerry, I was the guy I had to get 500 shots a day to whatever. Jerry would come in and get a little bit of a rhythm, and if he missed 9, he felt like he was making the next 9. If I missed 2, I had to get another 9,000 shots just to feel like I was going to make the next. And Corns is exceptionally confident in his game.
How did he come back from sort of not playing those 2 games, being benched? It seemed like, again, outside Ghanaian, he had the 2 points, 15 points, 2 games, that he just really bounced back but how did he take it?
You know what? I think he took it really well. He's an exceptional player. He's always ready. He's earned everything that he's gotten. The first game he came back, I think he played 6 minutes. When he came off redshirt. But listen, he didn't get a lot of reps at the beginning of the year because of his injury. That was really, the red shirt was to really help him mature and, college academically and time management and all those things, which are just incredible. When Noah went down, we needed him, and boy, has he not only thrived, but he's thrived and produced, and a big part of what we're doing.
And then as teams get better throughout the year, that thing that you always sort of talk about, right? Trying to get better. Is that with freshmen? Because last time you guys played Colorado, Corn didn't really have any type of game, to speak of. Now I'm going to imagine he's going to factor into that.
Yeah, we have more games under our belt. He's playing at a confident level. Yeah, freshmen after 12 or 13 games don't become freshmen anymore. But there's still going to be growing pains. We're still teaching them. But for the most part, when they're in the flow of the game and we're getting steals and deflections and we're in transition, that's where they really thrive.
Keon Brooks came in with a lot of expectations on his shoulders. You guys needed him to score. I don't know if it's fair to say he struggled, but it just seems like he's really found his spot. How much of that is because he's kind of figuring things out here and the other guy's stepping up a little bit because of the focus on him? Can you talk a little bit about what's caused him to maybe find his spot a little bit better?
I think you're always, everybody in life, if you want to grow, you're always growing, you're always trying to get better, and that's who he is. One environment to the next of saying, okay, I'm going to not be a go-to guy and be a go-to guy, it doesn't happen like that. It's a growth process, getting used to double teams, getting used to the best defender guarding you, getting used to your teammates. There's so many different variables. And you just see him, even the shot selection from the three-point line going 2 for 4 and understanding what shots out of our offense are good for him. And guys are understanding him. When they get a switch, they're finding him. We're figuring things out, getting him in comfortable positions and positions where he can be really effective. And his teammates understanding how to surround him, where to go, and where he's comfortable passing, where he's going to find them. And that's part of coaching. That's part of development. But he is, he really, really stepped up. He has all year. Percentages, you start seeing the efficiency going way up. Where I was really proud of is the rebounding at the second half, the defensive plays that he made, and then, really being strong around the basket.
Is his strength going into the key?
I think so. He's tough. He's starting to play better with contact, starting to be really deliberate with where he's going to go without running somebody over, and confidence budding. That's a big thing, and really, really happy for him. We need him to be that guy, and he's been that guy.
Last time you guys played Colorado, played like a really good defensive game. But held them like 63 points and low percentage-wise shooting. I'm sure they're going to take a look at that film. But what things did you guys do well that night?
They only made 5 3-pointers, so that was big. We did a decent job in the glass. We did a good job in transition. All the same key points, Percy, that make us really good. Team score, you can keep under 70. The one thing that you understand about when they go home, their offense is going to be better, their defense will be better because they're playing under with their fans. That's what usually happens. We've got to be able to score. I think that's going to be big. Can we keep our offense moving? Can we make some shots? You have to be able to do that on the road. Their defensive numbers, which you see compared to on the road and at home, are just completely different. They're going to the foul line nine more times offensively at home per game in the last 3 games. They're plus 9 rebounds. They're stealing the ball more than they normally do when they're at home, and that's usually probably normal if you look across the country. And we're going to have to, when we've been successful down there, we've been able to score.
So, and the other thing that really jumped out from that game, you guys had like 18
takeaways. Yeah. No, we were flying around, and we've done a good job. When we've played well, we've been able to turn them over. But they've got really good guards. He's a really good coach. I think that's always kind of been who we are, right? We're at our best. We're turning teams over. We're getting in transition. We're doing a good job defending the 3-point line. That's when we're rolling.
Is playing at elevation a real thing?
I guess if you talk to a doctor, they said the air is thinner. I don't know. It's basketball. We go in there and just play the game. Guy gets tired, I'll sub him out, put the next guy in. I'm not too much into it.
What you personally, you've been there 5 times now? 6 years?
We played our first 2 years. 1 year we might have, I don't recall. But we've,
2 and 2 then.
yeah, it's a tough place to play. They've got great fans. That's the thing about it. And they just play better at home. And Tad Boyle is as good a coach as there is. To be able to go into Tennessee and beat a Tennessee team who's top 5, nobody does it. And so we know how talented, what their potential is. KJ Simpson, Tristan Da Silva are 2 of the best players, not just in our league, but in the country. They've got a great supporting cast. It would be a tough game.
Hey, the idea of it being a long season and sort of getting that message to your team, you're probably not where you would like to be, but you're still in a position to make a run here. But getting some road wins is definitely.
I think that's always part of it. Last year we got a couple of them. It's hard to win on the road. You got to play really well. It's just what it is. When we've had our lapses, we haven't scored. We got to be able to score on the road. Corn has stepped up. Keon, Noah Williams. But Braxton was a little bit. Didn't get as much as he normally does, or Cole or Jamal Bay. And so we're at our best when we have 4 or 5 guys scoring in double figures, and really that team type of effort. And that's when we're sharing the ball and we're getting a lot of passes and the ball's moving and we're getting one more is when it seems like we start making shots. When it starts to become stagnant and guys hold the balls when, there's no rhythm. And so, something that we've been working on, and, we do it every day, and hopefully we can go down there and do it.
I think you get 9 guys averaging at least 6 points. Is this the potential of being one of your deepest teams?
I think so. I think it's one of those teams where, it's like Noah Williams plays 5 minutes, then he has 25 points. Cole Badgema's had some big games. Jamal Bay's had big games. PJ Fuller's had big games. We've got a lot of, now it just goes back to, can we get 4, 5, 6 of those guys, moving in all cylinders, all cylinders in full effect. But it always starts with our defense. That's who we are. That's our identity. We got to do that.
Just an update on a guy we haven't asked about in a long time. How's Sam doing, and how's he coming along? Where's he at?
Sammy is probably the most positive person I've ever been around. He comes in, we always talk about you need 8 hugs a day, and so we get our 8 hugs in. He's a bright light. You know, working on it every day, getting more comfortable, but it's part of one of those things that takes time, you know, and he's a great role model for someone who's going through some adversity, because he has in his first 2 years here. But he you know, does well academically. He's a great teammate. Busts his tail every day. You'll see him shooting 1-foot jumpers out there in his with his brace on. But you know, hopefully we'll have him next year, and people will see how talented he is.
You won't see him this year.
No, not seeing him this year.
In like terms of just logistics, is this year the toughest road trip? You know, just because you have to get on a flight in between, or does that happen?
You know what? I actually liked when we had, like, the day that you need, like the day in between, the Thursday, Sunday. Arizona, you could get on your bus and we were in Tempe the next day, or that night, in about an hour and 30 minutes or whatever it was. It might even shorter, but this one's it's a long trip. You know, it's a quick turnaround, and it's always the toughest trip when it's like that. Yeah. Just because you're getting on a plane, you're playing. He's got some distance into flights, and you know, quick turn.
Are you able to even get much done on that Friday?
I talk about our league all the time. It's like it's not an NBA back-to-back, but it's you hopefully you have good energy. You're trying to keep your energy stored, and you know, a lot of miles are on those feet. And then the travel and all those things, the altitude / hydration. You know, there's so many different variables that you know, play into part to being really ready to go mentally, physically, spiritually, and all those things.
Do you like typically go a short rotation for the first game and a long rotation for the next one?
Do you know what I do? Our philosophy has always been, we're winning this game regardless if it's 5 guys, 6 guys, 7 guys, 8 guys, 9 guys, 10 guys, and we're doing the same thing the next game. And I don't try to save anything. Like, how are we going to win this game in front of us? And right or wrong, true or false, that's what we do.
It's good.
I heard there was a big snowstorm or something.
Is it really?